All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Tina Kadish tuning in here with my good friend, Grace Kressu. And we also have a guest, Carmela Cusano, today, who I am Tina Kadish of Life is Ideal. I'm a life purpose and business coach. I help the unhappy, unfulfilled corporate women to step into their greatness by leaving their corporate careers and stepping into entrepreneurship, because I believe that more and more of us need to be engaged, love what we do, and create prosperity doing what we love to do. And so my background has been in training, it's been in recruiting, and I got laid off from corporate America many years ago. And I started Life is Ideal during transition. And I knew what it felt like to be in corporate. And I really wanted to find my passion. And so I embarked on a personal development journey, and I learned of a tool that I now coach my clients on how to find your passion, because I learned in my research that over 85% of working people are unhappy with where they are in their careers. Okay. And I'm going to learn more about Grace and Carmela. Feel free, to tell us who you are, where you're tuning in, a little bit about you today as well. But the goal for today is really I want to thank Grace for getting on the call today. And she is someone that honored me. I'm so humbled and appreciative of you buying a copy of my book, which is Freedom, the 7 Steps to Thrive in Life and Business. And I'm so appreciative of Grace for being a great supporter, great friend. But a premise behind this, why did I write a book about freedom? Well, freedom is an important value. And so as I was on my journey, I wanted to be free from the corporate world. I wanted to really be an entrepreneur, impacting other women to find their purpose. And too many of us, like I said, are unhappy. They're stuck. But more important, they don't know what they want to do. They're stuck and they just don't have a plan. They have no framework whatsoever. And so I want to share this message, and how can you find that freedom in our life, in our business? If you're not an entrepreneur, that's okay. But are you loving what you do? Are you finding that freedom today in whatever you're doing? And if you're not, why not? Why are you not taking action with your dreams? Don't keep your dreams inside, get them out, because anything can change in a blink of an eye. Tomorrow, your life can change dramatically. And you might say, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Okay, because we all have a story to share. Why not share it to the world? Because people need to hear our stories, and we all have stories. Okay, so enough about me, because this is all about Grace and knowing more about Grace. Tell us, Grace, what you do, where you tuning in from, and your experience with the book, and some tips you have, and I'll be asking you some questions as you are sharing. Okay, Grace. Thank you, Grace.
Well, thank you to my beautiful friend, terrific Tina. I just love you to pieces, girl. And thank you so much for having me today. I'm Grace Kressu. I'm a sales director with Mary Kay, and I live right here in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And I'm a wife and a mother of 3 amazing children and a dog. And I just love, the opportunity that we can grow as women. And especially in this world today that we have contributed here, and, just to be those amazing people that we are. And, just going out, and I just love this book, Freedom. And did you know that 7 is my lucky number?
Is it really? 7 is
So
a
I was
lucky number. You know what? When I thought of the word freedom, I said, okay, how it's 7. I said, okay,
yes.
I'm going to write a chapter for each. I'm going to create an acronym for the word freedom. How will I do that? And I came up with these 7 steps, and we'll talk more as we continue. Yes.
Oh,
Great.
absolutely.
Lucky 7.
So lucky 7. I was born February 7th. So
Yes,
there
you
you
were.
go.
Yes, you
And
were.
so I was like, oh my goodness, I just can't wait to read your book. And actually, I started reading it, and I was like on this journey. And I think we're getting a message from God right now because the thunder is pounding here. But I was at the pool, and I'm like reading this book, and I'm like, it was just so awe-inspiring. And I took notes here because you talk about faith. And you think like, okay, the F word is freedom, but you really talk about and expound on faith, and how faith is the foundation. and, the purpose. And it just gave me that drive. And as I'm reading your story, of course, I'm also, crying because I'm like, to have God in the presence of, saving your life at 9/11 and that tragedy of what happened that day. And, he spared you from canceling that meeting to postpone it to the next day. And I was like,
Exactly.
I'm crying because I'm like, Tina would have been there.
I would.
And I didn't know your whole story because we became fast neighbors, friends.
We
And I'm
did.
like,
We did.
and so reading that, it just like drew me even like, wow, what a powerful woman you are. And just, the awesomeness that we have our faith and that we can just, like trust in a higher power. And my higher power is God, because I put God first, family second, career third.
Absolutely.
And, talking about that, it in the beginning of this book was just like inspiring. And then what's the next letter is R, and to release, let go, because I always say let go, let God.
Me too. Me too.
And
Me too.
to overcome whatever's transpiring in our lives, whatever it may be, we need to release it. And then you talk about evaluation, and I was like, okay, you just got to step back and view the bigger picture. And what is that bigger picture to each person? Like you said, everyone has a different story to share in their lifetime. And it's like, okay, what's your story? What's your mission? And from moving from Connecticut to Florida, I said, okay, God, I'm on a mission to serve you wherever it is. And I didn't know exactly where the place he was going to put me. And, it's like amazing the opportunities that grow when you're on a mission. And
Yes.
so then I love the other E's, energy, because that's what you are, Tina. You are a life of energy. And, it just spreads to every one of us out there, because I know you spread kindness and love and care and compassion.
Thank
And I
you.
was like, wow, you just motivate everyone that comes in your path. So, drawing that attention, and I love it. It says attention follows intention.
Intention. Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
whoa, I want you to expand on that one.
I will.
But
I will.
and then the D, the determination. It's the passion that brings you through any obstacle. And I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, we have obstacles and hurdles that we got to jump over, because I think women know how to jump over them better than men do.
Oh, I agree. And we are more resilient. I think that we are resilient and we can handle obstacles more. We'll continue, Grace, and then I want to ask you
Yes.
some questions.
And then the O, I was like, the optimism. I'm like, okay, utilize strategies for ups and downs. I'm like, oh yeah, because it's putting it together, and you're gonna get those ups and high moments, but then it's like those down moments is like, how do you get out of them, right? And then M, I love this, the mindset, because our mind just is always on a roller coaster. It keeps going, like it's okay. Sometimes you're like, okay, now we got to listen to our mind. But I love that healthy choices and the sound mind is everything. So determining that for yourself and for your life. But I wanted
Okay.
to I like the principles that you talk about in here. You give so much like great golden nuggets. I'm like, I could just talk about this book all day.
Well, thank you so much. And Carmela, I would love for you to share who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what you do currently. So thank you again
Yeah,
for being here today.
you're welcome. Yeah, my name is Carmela Cusano, and I'm from Monroe, Connecticut. I am a mom and a wife, and I have one daughter, and she's married and to a wonderful son-in-law. And I only had the one, and my wonderful husband, Al. I am a independent beauty consultant with Mary Kay, and Grace is my director, and I've been doing it for 4 years.
Good.
And I love doing it. It's fun. It's fun
Awesome.
connecting with people.
And what did you do before Mary Kay?
I was an accountant,
Wow. So
but
talk about transition.
up until my daughter was born, but then I was a stay-at-home mom, but I also did stuff on the side, little things, but yeah.
Okay, awesome. So
Mhm.
we are surrounded, of course, I'm surrounded with entrepreneurs, women that made it happen, okay? That we all have challenges, yes. And I want to expand on what you said about the attention follows intention. when when I learned of this tool on how to find your passion, we all set intentions every day. We decide, we choose our life. Now, there's things that come in our life that are out of our control. Okay. But we go through that. We overcome those challenges. The mindset is so important. People have said to me, I'm surprised you didn't have money as the M. And I said, the money will come when your mindset, okay, is in a place of, I call it a growth mindset. Are you growing, or are you stagnating, or are you complacent with what you're doing? Are you looking for solutions, or are you looking for, or are you fixated on the problem? Because there's another mindset called fixed mindset. And I talk about that in my book, because the fixed mindset is that where a lot of us today stay in more. That is more popular or more prevalent, I have been finding. So I help people to shift your mindset. How can we shift your mindset to think in a positive way? Okay. And we all go through challenges. Yes, I lost a job. That company that I was, supposed to be a 9/11, I got laid off from that company. Okay. A couple years later. And I found myself on a journey that I just didn't know what to do. So I got laid off. I was in transition, but I've gone through a loss of a marriage. I've gone through a loss of a job. Last year, I lost my daughter to cancer. I even had that kind of loss. Okay. And let me tell you something, optimism, mindset, faith, of the chapters, those were really hard for me to get through it as well. Okay. And so I had already written the book, but it was not published yet. I didn't have a book cover. So when I went through that challenge with my daughter, I already had that book written. Okay. But I tapped into that and I said, oh, okay, God, what do I do now? My faith was so important to get through it, because it was very difficult to get through that pain. And I did it. But if it wasn't for my faith, couldn't get through it. So I'm so grateful that I did this. I wrote about this, but never knowing that my faith would really be tested. So I had written this before this happened with my daughter 3 years ago. Okay. And I finally got it published. So all of us, and whatever you believe in, for all of you listeners, you may not believe in God. It's okay. Whatever your higher power is. And I say that in the book, we all have a higher power. What do we believe in? We got to believe in something, just believing in ourselves. Okay. Would be awesome. Okay. In the book, I want everybody to know too, there's action steps. Every chapter has an action step, so that it's not just a book that you put on the shelf, hopefully, and just gather dust. I want you to implement these steps in the book. So I want to ask you, Grace, you mentioned all 7 of them. What was there anything in particular, 1 to 2 things that stood out for you, things that you're going to apply yourself and that you want to share with the readers, listeners here and potential readers?
Well, yeah, I love how you said that, setback is an opportunity to learn and reflect and to actually grow. And
that's okay. You don't.
Yeah, I have a little audience over here.
Yeah.
But your ultimate plan. What is your ultimate plan? Plan of action. And taking that journey. But I love even how you expanded on the 7 principles.
Yes, the 7 principles to living a passionate life.
Yes. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was looking for that again, because I was like, wow, that's just awe-inspiring. And it's just, I was looking for it here. Oh, here it is. 7 principles in living your life aligned with your passion, your passions. And I love commitment, because until you're fully committed, nothing happens. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's really amazing. Because, you just look at that, even that word commitment. It's a lot of people don't know how to do that.
No, a lot of people don't know what commitment is. They're just going with the flow. I mean, they're just going, but are they committed to anything? Like,
Right.
what are you, what are you committed to? Okay.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I have found that, when I transitioned out of my career, because what I did was I did get laid off, and then I did go back to work out of fear, because I talk about fear in the book as well. Too many of us stay stuck because of fear. And we may not believe in ourselves. We may have all these, again, mindset trash. I call it head trash, that just goes on and on and on. And I go back to a job, and I finally left in 2018 because I wanted to focus on my business full time. And I was so grateful for that, because had I not been an entrepreneur, and, Carmela and Grace, you can relate to this, the flexibility that you have, the control that you have in your life. I was able to spend every day with my daughter while she was going through her challenge. I am grateful as an entrepreneur, I was able to do that. So think about when whoever's listening to this, you are waiting for something, and you're not making a decision because you're waiting for something to happen. Or, okay, I got to make more money before I can do this. Oh, I got to make sure nothing's going to be perfect before you can actually make a decision. The timing, it is about timing, but what are you waiting for? If you have something that you're brewing inside of you and you want to, take action, I was with Mary Kay years ago as well. And that model is what inspired me more, that I wanted to be in my own business. And what I learned with Mary Kay was that faith, that God first, family second, career third, that too many of us put our career first. Oh, and if we have time for our family, well, and then God, who's God? Okay. And so, or who is our higher power? Who, how do we ground ourselves? How do we, because there's a higher power that has a plan for us beyond our control. Okay. I learned that the hard way, because I was a control freak. I thought I could take care of everything. I could control everything. I got this. We're going to get through this. We got through it, but totally the carpet was pulled under me when she passed away. Okay. So we cannot control our lives. We have to, two things that I've learned through this journey is trust and surrender. Trust the process you're on, and surrender to what is going on, because having that optimism, that determination to continue. What can I do now from this tragedy, and how can I impact other women or men who have lost a child? Okay, but that's a separate, a book is coming from that, by the way. My next book will be about that. And so we all want to find our purpose. We want to wake up every day excited. At least I would hope that you do. But I think what stops us is those excuses, or we just may not believe in ourselves. So I want to ask you, Carmela, in listening to this conversation, is there anything that stands out for you? Any, challenges that you've had to work through?
Oh, it's definitely your mindset. If you don't set your mindset to something, it's not going to happen. Yeah, definitely your mindset.
Oh yeah, definitely the mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a scarcity mindset environment. It was all about lack, and always fear. They would always put the fear in you. And it was like, I grew up with that. So I never believed, number one, I never believed there was such a thing called dream. I actually learned that with Mary Kay is when I learned more about the Bible. And I learned about dreaming, that you can dream. Okay. Because I just believed you just keep working, get a job, whether you like it or not, you got to work. Yes, you do want to make money, but are you really stepping into what you love to do? And so a lot of us are staying in that scarcity mindset, and we don't see beyond ourselves. We don't get out of our own way a lot of times. Grace, any thoughts? I know we're coming up close to the end here, but what are 1 to 2 tips you have for the listeners today? Anybody who wants to buy the book? What do you think? How do you think it could help the readers?
Well, if anybody's looking to, thrive in their life and also in business, this gives, the principles and everything to, work out any like niches that maybe you feel stuck, or something in your life that you're like, you need something more. And this book really reflects on, the purpose and, what you can do to, work in an environment that we're in right now, in person, virtually, and how that can, benefit in life and in business. Because I believe, me living in Florida, I have so many friends like in Connecticut, and it's like, I don't get to see them, but when you can go on virtual, it's like, it's
I
so
know,
cool
look at
because
us now.
like you ladies are in Connecticut and here I am, Florida, and we can all join together. And I think that unity of bringing people together and, how you can expand in your life and business. But I just love how you just bring out these points, and you have some great words of, clarity, attention, stay open, integrity, persistence, following your heart. And it's what's the secret to living a life with passion? It is when you are faced with a choice, a decision, and an opportunity, choose in favor of your passions. And I just love how you just expand on everything. And so it's like, you definitely want to get the book because, you can get more in depth what these words really mean.
Thank you so much, Grace. So Grace, how can we connect with you? I will let everybody know how to connect with me. I will put the link and how they can grab a copy of the book. For those of you that are in Connecticut, I am doing a book signing tomorrow in Milford, Connecticut at the Cafe Atlantique from 2 to 4 p.m. So any Connecticut peeps want to come and join me and get a copy, and I will personally sign the copy. Join me tomorrow. I'll also have some raffle prizes, and you might actually win a free copy of the book, but would love for anybody in Connecticut to join me. I've been asked to come to Florida by other people, so never know. There could be a book tour going on, okay? But I would love to do that. So yes, so Grace, how can we connect with you? People want to get Mary Kay. Maybe some of you, you've been looking for Mary Kay consultants. We have 2 Mary Kay consultants right here. Connecticut, we got Carmela. Florida, we got Grace. Okay, we're all part of a team. So it would be great if you're looking for some beauty products. How can you get some? So Grace.
Yeah, they can go to my website. And that's www.marykay.com / my first initial G, my last name, Kressu, Kressu.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Great. And Carmela, same.
Yes,
website.
marykay.com and then /C Cusano.
Awesome. Very easy. Okay. And Life is Ideal. My website is www.lifeisideal.com. You can grab a copy of my free gift of the 5-step exit strategy out of corporate. I offer my 5-step process. You can also buy a copy of my book on my website as well. And if any of you here are looking to get out of corporate and you don't have that clarity, you need some direction, let's have a 30-minute call and let's see if we can get you on track to live your life with passion. And I want to thank Grace today for joining me, and Carmela for tuning in, for supporting your director of Mary Kay. And that's the beautiful thing also about not only Mary Kay, but the fact that a community, you're supporting each other. I think too many times we're thinking about what's in it for me, and the giving. And this is another great business model that Mary Kay always embodied, was that giving back, because you give, you will receive. So I will leave you with that. What are you giving today? Who are you giving today? And what impact will you make starting today? What action are you going to take? Stop with the excuses and start taking action. You owe it to yourself. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great day, everybody.